All right, still setting up the live stream here, waiting for a few people to come online here. Put out a link here on Twitter to the live feed here as well. Got started a little bit late here trying to set things up. There we go. Can you guys hear me? It looks like the audio is working, but can you guys hear me? Covington, Washington in the house. Lake Arrowhead. All right, a lot of people already joining in here. Port Angeles, snow here, not yet. Forks, snowing, very nice. Redondo Beach, 5 feet of snow. You must be in California. Bend, Oregon, we can hear and see you. All right, good. Lots of snow on Vancouver Island. Yeah, there's going to be some nice snowfalls up there in BC. A little bit more for Bellingham probably as well. Just hoping here for an inch or two here in Seattle. I just want to see it snow. I mean, it's just kind of nice to watch it fall. Oh, just making sure that my audio was working here. I see Brad is here. That's good. Brad Ward, Alaska Airlines. Yeah, right now we're getting some precip is falling overhead, but it's evaporated into the dry atmosphere. That's going to start the process of the evaporative cooling here across the region. And you probably see it's about 40 degrees in a lot of areas right now. That's going to drop down towards, the lower 30s here as we go on in through this evening, and we'll finally get some of that snow to finally moisten the air mass and finally get down towards the surface. No snow in Sydney, Australia. Isn't it summertime down there, Ryan? Is it warm out? It must be warm down there, I imagine. Law and order. Keep the riffraff to no malarkey here on the channel. You guys can see here, I'm highlighting the West Coast. You can see these blizzard warnings down here for California, you guys. This is for the next storm system Monday into Tuesday. If I click on this and we look at the blizzard warning, check this out. So let's see, we've got the blizzard warning here. It's 2 to 6 feet coming up. The winter storm warning is from Sunday a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday. And then at 4 a.m. Monday, it turns to the blizzard warning here. You're going to have another 1-2 punch coming up. We got a couple systems rolling through here. And as you can see, they're going to be quite strong. And you're going to drop these snow levels down. Some areas is actually going to go below 1,000 feet here across some of Northern California. So, I mean, this is just, this is bound to be one of the wildest winters ever for the state of California by the time we're done with these storms. I mean, we're going to do it all again here. This system that's coming through the Pacific Northwest is going to impact California as well. And then we got another system back here. It's going to be hot on its heels. It moves across Pacific Northwest down through California. So the West Coast is going to be rocking and rolling. 50 diversion from LAX last night. That's crazy. That's just wild. I mean, you can still see the storm spinning over the top of Los Angeles. The heavy rain's pushed off to the east now, but 50 diversions from LAX. Not used to that kind of weather. Shouldn't be too much sleet here in the Pacific Northwest. I don't think, no, we're not looking at any sleet anywhere. That should not be an issue. It's going to be a marginal snowfall here across some of the Seattle metro here. I'm hoping it gets down towards freezing here so we can get, just a nice scene. But it'll start to melt by the time you get on into Sunday. But we've got more rounds possible as we go through early this week and on into midweek coming up. Did Ryan reply there? I didn't see if he did. 31 there today. So what is that, 88 degrees? Nice. I'll probably go out later. I might live stream later on from Seattle. Once it starts snowing, I plan to go out to downtown or something, just kind of catch some wintry scenes and people walking around in the snow or something like that. I don't expect there to be a lot of snow around the Seattle area. I'm just hoping for an inch or two. Some areas might get more, and some models are saying you might get a little bit more snow out of this whole thing here. Make sure this is updating here. It's another look here at the GOES 18 satellite. There's that upper level low over California. Here goes our frontal system here, and we got another storm out here. So this California is going to hit with this frontal system, then one right behind it here. And this one's what's going to cause the blizzard warnings here across some of the Northern California area and some of the Sierra. And you're going to get a lot of snowfall across the Cascades, and BC is going to get hit hard with this one as well. You get any kind of elevation back up into BC, you're going to get a lot of snowfall overnight tonight. 247 people already. All right, nice. Enumclaw totals tonight. I mean, I don't expect you're going to get a lot down there. The models haven't been showing too much. Let's actually look at this. Let's look at the most recent Canadian high resolution. This is out through hour 11. Let's see, what time does it start? That's about midnight here for Seattle. You can see it move down across the area. I'll look. Bruce Cruz, thank you for the generosity there. Thank you very much. Let's do the European. We'll do snow here. We'll go to surface Kuchera. This is the 18s, and you can see it calls for 1.5 inches there, but you can see out towards Enumclaw here. Depends on how far you're up in the foothills there. But once you get out, maybe on 410, you're going to get up into some snowfall there. But you can see in the lowlands here, not too much of the Pierce County, Southern King County area, but 1.5 inches for Seattle, a little more as you go north and east. And then again, that snow shadow there. I talked about that a lot today. I feel like a broken record talking about those. You can see the Willamette Valley, a little bit of snowfall in here. Better chances between really Olympia and just north of Portland here. And as you get away from the sound a little bit here, Vancouver as well. So kind of the same thing, but then let's see, I haven't looked further off in here, and you can see as we go through Monday night, look at that. I mean, the European showing a pretty snowy scenario going for Seattle here coming up on and through Tuesday morning. Look at that. That's kind of an uptrend there. So that's over 5 inches total there by the time you get, and probably some of the areas in the foothills and up north a little bit more are going to get some pretty good amounts. And look at, again, Southwest Washington down towards Portland could get some snowfall here as well. I want to look at the pressure map here and kind of check this out. What is going on here? So there goes Sunday's system here. The slow sets up off the coast here. Yeah, and this is a very precarious position for a low pressure system here because we could bring some more cold air back into the area here. And with heavy precipitation, we're going to bullseye some areas. We're going to get some surprise heavy snowfalls out of this system. I mean, it's not even really that much of a surprise since the European does show it occurring, even shows several inches for Seattle potentially coming up. Cliff Mass talked about that a little bit in his blog today too. Yeah, I think the thumbs up don't update that rapidly here on the live stream. Kitsap above 500 feet. Yeah, you'll do pretty well out there. You'll get some cold air damming. You'll get some of the southeast wind, and you'll catch some of the cold air a little bit more maybe up in the Kitsap Peninsula, especially on the higher hills. Yeah, I'd like to get 3 inches out of it. I don't know if we're going to, though, but Lake Stevens might not do too bad. You might get 2-3 inches out there. Montana, yeah, let's take a look. Let's back out a little bit more here. We'll look at winter. We'll just check out. Let's do 24-hour running total here. So on through Tuesday morning, you can see Seattle Metro getting in the action. Maybe Portland's going to get hit again here too as well. And then you can see, you know, you've got limited moisture dealing here across some of Montana. But, I mean, some of the higher terrain is making out all right. Higher terrain of Idaho as well. You can see the valley down there not getting as much. But, man, look at the Sierra Nevada. Just some huge 24-hour totals coming up here. Just what a crazy winter out there. Just wild. I'm going to be talking about this for years or decades there down across the state. I mean, you might see some snow falling in downtown Seattle. I don't expect a lot of accumulation or anything. Jonathan Pulley is here. Yeah, I just want to go catch a little wintry scene. I think it's better chance maybe out towards Bellevue or a little bit northeast of the city. Maybe SeaTac might pick up a couple inches as well. Higher hill type deal going on. And you get, you know, that little snow shadow there across some of Pierce County probably start to relax a little bit as you get towards SeaTac as well. The weatherman is here. Olympia will probably get more out of Seattle here. Yeah, this is just crazy because this is not a typical El Nino rainy California winter here going on. We're getting La Nina is including here. Let's back out. La Nina has just decided to include California in on the fun is basically the best way I can explain it. And kind of a classic La Nina signature. If you guys have been watching my other videos and listening to me talk about this, powerful jet stream off the coast of over western Pacific here. And then you can see it in turn brings that ridging downstream. And let's back up here a little bit more. And you can kind of see how that jet stream is down all the way towards California here in this next one as well. Diving way down into California here and just kind of including California on this action here. So you're not getting those really intense warm atmospheric rivers that can really cause the huge floods into Southern California. So this is almost like a perfect setup for California, really, where you're getting wet systems, you're getting a lot of snow, but it's more of a La Nina pattern. And it's not that common to include California in a lot of these La Nina storms. Yeah, Federal Way, you might see some covering the roads a little bit, maybe, on some of the higher hills, I think, but it's going to be tough to get a lot of snow, I think, around Tacoma Federal Way. But, maybe you might see still the snowy scene covering the grass, road, the cars, maybe the road a little bit. And let's look at the UW model here too. I think it should be running here. And you can see Olympia south towards Longview, Kelso a little bit better there as well. So it calls for 1.5 inches here on Seattle coming up. Central Oregon, well, there's drought over there. East slopes of the Cascades are looking pretty rugged there as far as drought. Cascades will get a good shot of snowfall here through tomorrow morning. Actually, better on as you get in towards the afternoon there. But the Willamette Valley might get a bit. But then the next system is going to be even probably a little more interesting than this one, you guys. Honestly, there's going to be some more big totals here across Southwest Washington. I mean, Seattle, the Puget Sound could get some more out of this as well. And let's take a look at this. Let's run the GFS, the 18Z. Look at the 18Z GFS. You go out a bit here and look at all the snowfall that it has on here. So it's kind of picking up on that too. 32 west of Portland. Yeah, long live La Nina, but it's not going to be alive much longer, unfortunately. Yes, dew point and evaporative cooling are related. The lower the dew point right now, the better. So if you go look at your weather stations, check out your dew points, report back to me what you're seeing. Last time I was showing here, I was 40 degrees and the dew point of 24. So if you bring those down together, I'm probably going to be right around 33 and snowing here as we go on in through tonight for my house example, maybe 32.5 or something. Downtown will probably be closer to 33 in snow, for example. Yeah, the GFS is just kind of like pure weather fantasy here. But now let's take a look at this. This is the NAM. So it ran out and you can see it does pick up. Let's see what it calls for snowfall here for Seattle. So it's saying it's calling for 2.3 for Seattle here. And you can see again, that's snow shadow there. Sunday morning, some areas up north getting a bit there as well. And we go on into Monday and it brings some more snowfall. You can see it start to pile up across Southwest Washington, a little bit more for the Puget Sound there as well. And it shows some bigger amounts up north also there. And again, Kelso, Longview, down towards Portland, kind of a hot spot here recently. 39.23 here. Brad Ward. Yeah, so you're going to be right around freezing and snowing there as this precipitation finally makes its way down. And if we get heavier precipitation in here, that will be better. Snowing on the Orcas Island Anacortes Ferry. Nice. Trying to catch up on some of the chats here. I see we got some people spamming already. Well, yeah, that dude. I think we just need to ban that Jack guy from the channel. Yeah, so is it, it's really, okay, so let's see. Yeah, it should be, that's right about for Seattle there. Let's look at this. Let's go to, I'm curious what Portland says. We're looking at METARs here now. This is true weather nerd stuff. Yeah, at the airport there, Portland, what, it's in the mid 30s or so, upper 30s. Dew point. Yeah, if they can get enough precipitation down there, it would follow snowfall all the way down towards Portland there. Anything else? Looks like they upgraded the avalanche warning across some of the higher terrain there to considerable. And you can see the Sierra is got some high down there as well. So let's see. Let's watch this Canadian model run. This is a high resolution model here. It's still only out to 11 hours. Is something going on here? I don't know. It might be updating still. Thank you, Brad Ward. I see some small snowflakes outside. What should I do? So you're on Whidbey right now, right, Jonathan? That's a good sign. Maybe you'll get a little bit more than what's been forecast. There's a pretty nasty snow shadow up there for Whidbey Island and portions northeast. Is there still snow? Yeah, somebody answered me. I think that there was up until just maybe today. What did it melt today across much of the area down there across Portland? Maybe Garrett will come in here and tell us. There will be a little bit of a convergence zone tomorrow, yes. Yeah, let's take a look at that. We're looking at the NAM 3 cam. I've not looked at this yet either. You can see it kind of bullseye the central Puget Sound area up towards the King County, Snohomish County line. That's not the classic convergence zone, though. And as we go on into Sunday, you can kind of see it here. This would be convergence zone stuff. And you could get some additional snowfall here. But again, it's going to be kind of marginal. But the air aloft is kind of chilly. Now we're going on to Monday morning. Look at this low pressure system out here, spreading some snow back across the area. There's no guarantee for anybody, but at the same time, somebody could get hit hard with one of these bands of snow as we go on in through Tuesday morning. European targeted Seattle a little bit more than what the NAM is showing, but this low pressure system here is going to be kind of a fickle little beast, and that's going to bring some more snow as we go through Monday into Tuesday. But here, we'll look at this also. Let's go to surface wind. So I'll show the convergence zone, what's going on. You see the westerly surge come down on in through tomorrow morning here towards Whidbey Island. And then you can kind of see it coming through the Chehalis Gap. You'll get a bit of a convergence zone going on here as we go on in through Sunday early afternoon. Mitchell, welcome to second tier channel support. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. You could get a lightning strike up there in that convergence zone tomorrow afternoon. You never know. Yeah, Kitsap and Hood Canal, get a little bit of cold air trapped out there as well. Light snow on the north shore of Orcas Island. That's good. That should be making its way to us. Now let's do this. This is kind of the combination of Doppler radars here. So you guys can see this. If you look close here across the Pacific Northwest, you can see this precip coming in, but a lot of this is evaporating before it hits the ground. That's the evaporation that's going on. That's going to cool the entire column of the atmosphere and hopefully bring some snow down. I'd be surprised if it isn't, precipitating of some sort here along the coastline. Maybe somebody will chime in with that. But it looks like it is snowing here across some of the San Juans, according to our people here. Yeah, that system on Monday or Tuesday is something to watch for now. It's not worth getting into details yet, but it does show some potential for some. Once you start getting 4+ inches of snowfall here in the western areas, it's considered heavy snow. So, I mean, that's a decent snowfall. Moderate to heavy rain in ocean shores. Nice. Snowing in Linden. I enjoy talking about weather. Yeah, I like it. I'm glad you guys are stopping by to chat. Because I get winter weather advisories down here across some of the areas as well. I guess they were getting snowfall pretty low, down towards 1,000 feet near Los Angeles. Pretty incredible. Starting the Pacific Northwest Weather Spotter Network here. Yes, that would be cool. Not snowing in Anacortes / would be right now. Might be snowing in Queets on 101. You might be getting 2-3 inches there in Olympia. Let's see what they say down there. Let's see. Is this the same generic one we got? Total snow accumulation up to 3 inches there. This is the winter weather advisory in effect for areas of Thurston County down there, Olympia, Centralia, Toledo. Local accumulations up to 6 inches over higher terrain and near the mountains. Yeah, my kids are into it from time to time. They like to talk about it. Sometimes they like to watch the windstorms come in. When the windstorms come in, they're always checking the high wind speed on the anemometer and whatnot. The Langley radar. Is the Langley radar? It doesn't look like it's down. We can check here too. Let me look. We'll go to the individual radar site here. It looks like it's doing all right. Stand by 1 second here. Okay, dog scratching at the door here. See if she wants to come up. Oh, there she is. There she is. Come on. Okay, dog was scratching at the door, making some noise. So, anyway, back to the weather here. So right now we're watching this. So I want to watch this model real. Actually, let's look at this. National Blend of Models. This one was kind of bullish. Did not like the precipitation. It actually upped its game here. Look at that. I think this morning only had like 1/3 of an inch for Seattle. Not bad. It upped it a bit here across the Seattle Metro. The high resolution Canadian model is a fairly decent performer. See how it does for Monday. Yeah, hits the Puget Sound again, hits some of Southwest Washington. Oh, sorry, this is the National Blend of Models. I'm sorry, this is the National Blend of Models here. This is not the Canadian high resolution here. This is I was wondering what was going on there. I was confusing myself. Okay, so here we go, 24-hour. Let's go to just total snow Kuchera ratio in inches. It's showing about 1.3 for Seattle here by what? This is 3 a.m. Sunday morning here, and you can kind of see a little bit more of a bullseye up through the King Snohomish County line there. Man, that's snow hole there. People across Pierce County are not going to be happy with us. Yeah, do not swim in the water down there. I mean, it was crazy when I was down there last month. It was just wild how much dirt had run off into the ocean. It was intense looking. You could get some snow down to the coastal areas. Yeah, that is a possibility. Actually, let's look at this here really quick. The NAM. The NAM shows the snow level being pretty low along the coastline here. I wouldn't expect a lot of snow coming up here in the next few days, but I wouldn't rule it out. The chance of thunder snow with this round here is pretty low. We're not, I mean, there's a very small chance across the convergence zone tomorrow afternoon north of Seattle, but it's not really that noticeable. I mean, there is this here. Let's look at this here. So this is day 2. This is for tomorrow. And we're going to get some cold air coming in behind that frontal system there. So I guess you could bring some snowfall down with a heavier shower that came in tomorrow afternoon, but it's going to be mainly when it's warmed up a bit. So I would not expect this to be like a significant thunder snow event here for the coastal range. Yeah, the thunder snow was really fun last week. That was very entertaining. I saw so many lightning strikes. We saw planes get hit. It was just wild. Yeah, that low, we got to be watching the track of that low closely. It's going to make all the difference in the world between who gets what. Looks like they upgraded that a little bit here across some of the Puget Sound too. Remember this morning there was more minor impacts, or there was less minor impacts around. They kind of upped this a little bit. They even include Portland in here a little bit in the moderate here as well. So trending upwards a bit. Oh, that's what it's for. That's for, well, is that 1 through 3? Where is it then? That's day 1, day 2, day 3. I guess that's a culmination thing there. Okay. Never mind. But if you guys are just joining now, take a look at this. You see this red down here across some of the Sierra Nevada in Northern California? That is for Tuesday morning storm. That is not for the storm that just went through. This is for the storm coming up here. And that's the one back here. This frontal system is going to bring winter storm warnings across California. Then this next one back here is going to bring the blizzard warning again across portions of California. Yeah, the Ashland to Redding I-5 drive can be treacherous. That is wicked. I mean, this is not a good time. Over the next few days, on in through midweek here, it's going to be pretty wild out there, I-5. Here, let's do the, this just ran, so we're, actually, no, it has not, there it goes, here we go. It's just starting up now. I mean, you can see a little bit of snowfall for Portland. It's showing up around an inch, but the problem is sometimes the models overdo the amount that's accumulating in these marginal setups. So if I look at this here, you'll notice that it's just, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of heavier precipitation here. And you can see that we're very close to being above freezing during some of this event coming up here. But again, let me look at this. We'll go to temperature. We'll go to, let's do this. Let's do the European actually. And we'll look a little bit closer here. Let's go to cities and we'll do Portland. So between 10 at night, yeah, it's going to be close. I mean, it's going to be so marginal that it just might be a bit of a coating here across some of the areas. I'd wait until after midweek if I was driving across I-5 down Northern California, Southern Oregon. Yeah, that's a good question. Is Western Washington one of the hardest forecasts in the United States? Yeah, it's probably actually the most difficult place to forecast. I mean, and if you look at it here, let's do this. Let's go to, let's back up here. We'll go there and we'll go down to, so if you look at this, you guys can see the terrain. Anybody who's lived here for any length of time, you guys can see the terrain features here. It's the lower elevation of the Puget Sound up towards southwest BC. But every one of these mountain ranges, the Olympic Mountains, Vancouver Island, the Cascades, the Willapa Hills down here, the coastal range, then you've got the ocean, then you've got the Puget Sound that comes in here. And every single one of these details matters when it comes to trying to forecast precipitation type, and then you've got all these little hills. And sometimes the difference between 100 and 300 feet makes all the difference between getting a trace in 2 inches across the region. So it's virtually impossible to pinpoint some locations sometimes. But what the UW here is trying to do, let's do this. They've built this really high resolution model to try to account for that. So you can kind of see here the higher terrain across SeaTac there, a little bit lower as you go towards Normandy Park and the Puget Sound there, a little bit of higher terrain kind of outlined here. You can see Kent East Hill outlined there. You can see some of this higher terrain as you go up and through northern King County into Snohomish County there. And then of course you get in the Cascade foothills, you get much higher terrain quickly there. But as you guys know, sometimes you're at the Puget Sound and it's snowing but not sticking. And you go up on one of the higher hills around and it's got 1.5 inches or 2 inches of snowfall. So if you put it into motion, you can clearly see how it piles up better on the higher terrain. That's what this high resolution model is trying to show. And you can see here, Kitsap Peninsula, by the way, doing pretty well. But it does show a couple inches here for SeaTac. You can kind of see it highlighted there. See that little bit of higher totals there? A little bit over 2 inches, what, 2.5, almost 3 inches for SeaTac showing up there. Downtown, though, look at that. You can see it's trying to pick that out, maybe 1 inch or so down for downtown Seattle. And then you can see the higher terrain here. So the UW knows just how important every little bit of elevation is, and that's why they've got such a high resolution model. But then you go to the problem with, point of diminishing returns where you have, if it's garbage in, it's going to be garbage out. It doesn't matter how high resolution your model is or how well it performs. If you put that poor data into it, then you're going to get poor data back. So that's kind of the trade-off here. Our observations still are not that good, and they're not as good as they will be eventually in the future, but you really need accurate observation data to be able to have these weather models do their thing. Yeah, Cliff Massey has a good book about forecasting weather in the Pacific Northwest as well. It's such a nightmare, especially this is just a classic, very difficult forecast here. Because even just a change in a few tenths of a degree can make the difference between sticking snow and snow that doesn't stick on the road. And we're right on that threshold, which is usually the case in most of these setups. Yeah, I'm trying to do some Weather 101 stuff. I did one on La Nina. If you guys look in the educational ones, then you can see some of those. But I'm going to start doing them when things slow down. I'll start refreshing ones I've done previously as well. Yeah, you can see the Kent Valley there as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes this model does really well, and sometimes you're like, wow, it really nailed it. And then other times you're like, well, okay, yeah, it was kind of out to lunch there. Let's back up here. Let's see if the actual 4-kilometer run is rolling as we speak here. I forget what time this one starts up, but let's see. Let's do all models. We'll do 4-kilometer. We'll scroll down. And you got to be careful. You want to go to accumulated snowfall here too. You want to see what's actually sticking. And yeah, it's already running now. So up there it goes. So we just have the initial stages. You can see the 00Z one is tonight. So you watch as I scroll through. By the time you get to number 5, it goes back to this morning's there. So yeah, it's running. We can update it and we'll get it as we go through the live stream here. Yeah, the Lahar, I mean, I hope I don't live long enough to see one of those nasty Lahars roll out to the Puget Sound. Yeah, you can take Cliff Mass's Atmospheric 101 classes also. Sometimes he does them for free. I think he was doing that for seniors, last I remember. Yeah, it's crazy how it is around the Puget Sound. The weatherman mentioned that about 32.5 degrees and mix. And if it was just a few tenths of a degree colder, that would have been a different scenario. It's just, it can be very frustrating. So for Portland, let's drop down. Let's actually look. I didn't look too much at that earlier today, and I should have. Let's go down to, we'll look at the morning's run down into, so again, the super high resolution model. I mean, they've got all the terrain mapped out on this model here. And you could see, I mean, it shows some of the outlying areas, maybe downtown Portland an inch, maybe some of the outlying areas, and especially up in the higher hills, Kelso, 2-3 inches there. Maybe 2 inches around the immediate area. Some of the higher terrain around Salem, a couple inches. But you can see Eugene. I mean, you might get a skiff down there. You want some snow, you don't have to go far. But you can see Roseburg, just kind of a skiff. Medford, Klamath Falls, not getting too much. You can see the pretty sharp cutoff here with this westerly wind coming in with this frontal system aloft. It's going to be pretty strong rain shadowing going on the backside of the Cascades. Yeah, my forecasting is just kind of based on my experience here in the Puget Sound. I've just forecast here for so long that it's actually, let's bounce it at 12, that I've just got such a pretty extensive knowledge of the area here. Let me do this. This is running right now here too. This is the 12 kilometer. So of course, 12 kilometer, not as good as resolution. You can kind of see how much less detail in the terrain features here. You can see it does show a bit for the Seattle Metro there even. It's poor Pierce County though coming up here. It's kind of a bummer. You're not going to get much snowfall. But look, even across some of the places like Moses Lake and Ritzville could get some snowfall here as well. You can really see that snow pile up across the Sierras, the coastal range there. And then there goes that next system as we go through Monday night into Tuesday morning, impacting some of the Puget Sound. Look at Southwest Washington, man, down Kelso, Longview, down towards Portland. Somebody's going to get hit again here as we go through, what is this, Tuesday, Monday night into Tuesday here. Somebody's going to get some surprise snow. It's not so much of a surprise, but yeah. Let me back up here. Do they have, we'll do Washington first. This is 12 kilometer. But the thing about the UW model here, it runs the 36 kilometer and the 12 kilometer runs earlier. So you're usually waiting pretty late at night to get that 1.33 kilometer run. But here we go by 4 a.m. Sunday morning here. You can see places generally Lake Washington east with a little bit better snowfall here. And this would be about 14, so 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there we bounced back. You see what happened there? We went from 0Z to 12Z there. So we went back to this morning's run here at 14. It's actually brought back the precipitation amounts a little bit. Well, it might not have. I guess we haven't seen that data yet, so it may not have. I shouldn't say that. Arlington, you could get up to 2 inches there as well. I mean, it's such a marginal event. It's tough to pinpoint any one location. Depends on your elevation too, exactly what your elevation is. You might get dumped on Portland Monday on into Tuesday. Let's run the 12 kilometer out here as of this morning, in fact. So here we are on a Sunday night, and you can see some of this additional snowfall, that next low pressure system on its way here. I mean, look at some of these totals across Southwest Washington. This might be a resolution problem here, but we'll check some of the other ones here in a minute. But look at some of the, I mean, some of the central Puget Sound there has gone up over 5 inches here by the time you got on into Monday night. And some more mountain snow there. But let's do this. Let's back up to the 4 kilometer. It's a much better resolution model here. Now we're just going to run through this morning's run. Actually, let's see if we got any more data. There's 5, 6. Yeah, we got a little bit more data here. 7. So this is 1 a.m. You can see the snow starting to stick here across some of the central sound about 1 a.m. Actually, let me bounce back out here. We'll do all 4, all. Make sure we're on that one. Here we go. Is it only going by 3-hour increments here? I thought it was. No, we're just got 3-hour increments. So sometimes, but sometime between 10 and 1, looks like it'll start sticking here across the central sound. And again, then it bounces back to this morning's run here. So that's where we are right now. So anyway, and this is 4 kilometer. But if we go a little bit further on into the run here, you can see here we are into Sunday. There goes that next low pressure system there, spreading some moisture. I mean, look at Portland gets hit again on this morning's run. Some areas across the Central Sound get hit again as well as you go on into Tuesday morning. I mean, look at that. Kind of a bullseye right there. And my house almost right there. It's some of, Ballard up a little bit north. 6 inches plus for some areas across the Central Sound. So yeah, we got to watch that next system closely. Yeah, I wish that YouTube algorithm, that seems to be, I don't know how to, I guess the thumbs up and the amount of comments they get left does really help. Peace Arch traffic cam, grass is white. So that's up on the border, I think there, right? Bobby explains, lives near me. Yeah, the thing about this storm too is it's not going to be, it's not going to be 29 degrees and snowing here across the area, especially the lowlands. So it's not like you're going to be driving on compact snow and ice. You'll be able to make tire tracks probably in it as you start to drive around on it, except for maybe a bit of time during some of the heavier precipitation, especially on the higher hills. It might stick a little bit better for a while. Brian Hicks, high tier channel support. Thank you very much, sir. $620 people watching. Very nice. Okay, back to the chat here. Let's see. Yeah, snow's always great to see when you don't have anywhere to go. The moment you need to go somewhere, though, it can be kind of a pain. So we are out to 15Z. It looks like it backed off a little bit around SeaTac there, but it's still calling for what? Close to 2 inches there around SeaTac. A little bit better just north of downtown Seattle there. East of Lake Washington. So what that would be I-90 there. Maybe Issaquah out towards Tiger Mountain there, Cougar Mountain. This is the 4 kilometer UW model coming in right now. Let's do this. Let's look at the Canadian high resolution. It's back out to hour 116. You can see it calls for just over an inch for Seattle there. A little bit better north and east. Sometimes this model does pretty darn good. The NAM continues to show a couple inches for Seattle downtown. When would that mostly fall? Let's see. So if I go out tonight, it looks like about midnight starts in Seattle. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3. But again, if you guys are just joining now, we're also watching more storms here off in the extended. If you put out this morning's Europe, or actually this afternoon's European run here, you can see some decent amounts showing up across Southwest Washington here. Even Portland, Seattle getting up towards 5 inches. We'll see how it goes. Vancouver beat, yeah, I mean, look at the European here with Vancouver. So it's showing some pretty good amounts coming as we go on in through tomorrow morning. I mean, Showing 6+ inches actually on this. Going to get better cold air trapped up there, especially if you're on a hill away from the immediate shoreline there. You're going to get some really nice amounts through Southwest BC for sure. The best weather app for me is basically just Radar Scope. I like Radar Omega also. Not sure what happened to my, there we go. But you can see the precipitation kind of coming in here. The deal right now is that we're evaporating some of this as it falls, but it is, I heard somebody say that it was raining on the coastline here right now. So this will be evaporating through the air mass as we go on in through this evening and tonight. Yeah, it's a must-have. You got to have the good radar app, and the Radar Scope usually does a pretty good job. You can get it for your desktop too as well. Now we're on Camano Island here. And you can see kind of the light nature of this. And so it's going to be evaporating. Pretty dry air mass in place right now. So a lot of this is evaporating. That's what's kind of driving this potential snow event. Fairly minor snowfall event. You guys shouldn't be expecting any huge amounts going through. And even if you do get some heavier amounts, it's going to be pretty wet stuff. Ventusky. I have never heard of that app. Yeah, evaporative cooling cools the air down for sure. And if you guys are just joining again, check out California. You guys see these red boxes here? That is not for the storm that just went through. There's more storms on the way for California here coming up as well. Blizzard warnings start as on in through Tuesday morning here. Yeah, it'd be nice if Radar Scope just had kind of a blend where you could just look at a few, like maybe 3 or even all of them at once and just kind of just look at the precipitation over a wide scale. Radar Scope only allows you to look at one radar site at a time. That's kind of what I'm doing right here on Radar Omega, but you can do this also, this radar and the MRMS. It'll show you all the radar sites that it has. It's just a lower resolution look at things. Snowing North Okanagan on the border, 4,000 feet. That is some elevation right there. So evaporative cooling, basically it takes energy. Once you bring that water down into the dry air mass, it cools the air mass down with that evaporation. Kind of the same way an air conditioner works. I'm trying to read all these chats coming through. Sorry, guys. Yeah, individual locations are going to be hard to pick out here, but higher elevation is going to be better. And of course, you guys probably saw the video this morning, and you're going to be some kind of snow shadowing down here across Pierce County a bit and kind of northeast of the Olympic Mountains. And I wouldn't be expecting huge amounts out of the storm here, but we do have more potential coming up here as we go. And let's look at this. I want to look at the HRRR, the most recent HRRR. We're going to back up a little bit here. So this one goes out 48 hours. If we go back to the 0Z run here, I want to see what the HRRR shows. We're watching this system come in now, but then we get a low pressure system that drops off our coastline. You can see it here. Here we are into Sunday afternoon and evening. And this one is going to be some interesting potential. Probably a higher impact snowfall across some of the lower elevations here. As you can see, this track of this low is going to mean everything coming up here, because it could reintroduce some cold air into the region here and bring a little bit more significant snowfall into the lower elevations. Yeah, Mount Rainier is going to get hammered. So Los Angeles isn't going to, there's no storm like what just went through that's coming for Los Angeles. But if we back up a little bit here, And we'll go to multi-parameter. This will kind of help everybody kind of get a visualization of what's going on here. Precipitation type. There goes the current system across California now. Frontal system through the Pacific Northwest. And this one is coming through. Fairly robust little frontal system there, bringing more snowfall across the Sierra Nevada. You can see some rainfall and some snow, but not like what they just had across Southern California. But it is notable. And then the next frontal system comes down across the region there as well. Maybe a little bit more snow all the way down through the Sierra Nevada also. Drops down across Southern California. So you're going to get a couple decent systems down there. Not as strong as what just went through, though. Keep going out a little bit more here. And there's additional storm systems dropping down the state here as well. So Sierras and some of the higher terrain in California are just going to make out like bandits here on in through early March. Patrick Nelson, thank you very much for the generosity. Nice picture. Yeah, that's a good one too. Let's look at the 850 millibar temperatures, upper level temperatures here. So this is let's do the 18Z since we want to get the most recent data we can. We don't need to go out too far to look at that. So here we go. You can see as this system moves in, we kind of get in that a little bit warmer air into the region here aloft, but then as that low parks off the coast, you can see the temperature start to drop here as we go through tomorrow night. And really what you want to see is -6 or colder here to get snow level down to the surface potentially. And that low pressure system right off the coastline here, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. You can see it ebbing back and forth between 6, 7, 5. Now we can also look at 925 millibar temperatures as well. And you want that at least -1 for the most part. So here comes that next low pressure system there, and it does cool down as you get towards Tuesday morning. So it's going to be another fairly marginal event, which is going to be expected anytime you're into late February here in the Pacific Northwest. It starts to get very difficult to get lowland snow. But we do have that chance coming up. Vincent Narvaez, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for the generosity. Trying to catch up on some of the chat here. Yeah, so that's one theory in science that's going on right now, is that the poles are warming more rapidly. The jet stream is weaker. The polar vortex is a little bit weaker, and it allows more cold air intrusion to drop down into the lower latitudes. We'll see what further studies have to show about that, and but I assume that probably has something to do with our weather as we go into the future. Now this is, Raphael. Thank you very much for your generosity, sir. Nice storm you guys just got there across Los Angeles. Very nice. The new radar in British Columbia, is it really? I don't know much about that yet. I'm going to have to look into that. That is new to me. Any truth to the idea that one can smell an incoming snow event? Well, I guess dry air would have a certain smell. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that part of it, but I imagine there's probably something to the colder, drier air that maybe has a certain smell that people recognize. I don't know. Thank you very much, Bradley. Zero chance. I mean, you're going to get, it depends on where you are, some of the higher hills, but you saw some of those snow total or lack of snow totals there across Pierce County. So you might see the snow fly in, but I wouldn't expect big accumulations. But that could change as you go on in through Monday and Tuesday. So stay tuned. Yeah, there's Doppler radar gaps all over the place. Hopefully we can, well, I'd like to get one on the Oregon coast. That would be awesome because we do get some powerful storms that move up the coastline. And really, you're just blind when you're looking down really past Seaside and Tillamook here. You just have nothing to visualize what's coming. And sometimes those big classic windstorms are out here, and it'd be really nice to have a radar, say, I don't know, we could put one in Tillamook, or Lincoln City would probably be perfect, actually. Just put a nice Doppler radar right in Lincoln City there, and you could really see well off into the ocean. We'd be quite nice. Or even Newport. I mean, I'm not picky. I'd take one anywhere out there. National Weather Service took the light rain out for what? Did they put snow in there? In the TAF? Weathermen. I guess weathermen are kind of like preachers in that sense. You have to, you can't verify everything that a weatherman is telling you. Yeah, I'm hoping just to see a little snowy scene and cover the roads maybe a little bit, cover the grass, enough to make a little sad snowman. It's being built currently, Ryan says. Cool. Oh, so they put snow in the TAF. Awesome. Okay, so SeaTac is being proactive. My radio's saying we're going to get thunderstorms. So what's going on here is there's some cold air. I'll show you this. You see this cold air behind the system here? As you get into Sunday, we're going to warm up a little bit on the surface here, but we're going to bring this colder air aloft in here, and we're going to get that chance of thunderstorms mainly along the Olympic Peninsula and the Oregon coast here. And that shows up right here. So we got day 2 categorical. Oh, we want to go up north. Here we go. So you can see that that's for tomorrow. But really, it's going to be kind of a one and done type thunderstorm, maybe some small hail with it. Chilly air aloft. 0Z to 16, 07Z to 16Z, light snow. Cool. Very good. Lincoln. Is that Lincoln City there? It's snowing in Lincoln City? Yeah, I don't think this is going to be, I mean, you might see some snow pellets or something with a thunderstorm tomorrow, or some ice pellets, some small hail, but I don't think that you're going to be setting up for a thunder snow event for the most part. Pacific North American Oscillation. Yeah, I haven't looked at that in a while either. There's the European. There's a deterministic here. It looks like we stay negative all the way through March 7th there. GFS. The ensemble shows us starting to crawl out of it there as we get toward mid-March. I can't wait for some nice spring weather, honestly, but I'll take as much snow as Mother Nature wants to throw our way. GFS, maybe crawling out of it towards mid-March a little bit there. This is the GFS extended. This goes all the way out. This is like mid-March here. This is the end of March it goes to. See, we get a little bit of a flip-flop here in the pattern. Mid-March, and we drop back down again. And, we can get snow all the way into April here. It just becomes a lot more difficult to do so and a lot less impactful. Yeah, pretty good snow coming there for Metro Vancouver, BC, especially right off the water. No, I wouldn't expect like a snowstorm with thunder snow tomorrow. It's going to be something that's post-frontal as you go on in through tomorrow, late morning, and that next batch of cold air moves in here. The snow we're dealing with overnight is going to be with this frontal system here, and this is not going to be extremely unlikely that there would be lightning strikes with this. The lightning strikes would be back here, and this would be on through the day tomorrow across Washington, Oregon coast there. Yeah, that the warmer wind does downslope off the mountains to Pierce County there. That's why that snow shadow is there. Yeah, the lower the dew points, the better. That means the more evaporative cooling you get, and that will drop the temperature, and it will actually raise the dew point and drop the temperature, and they'll meet somewhere right around freezing, hopefully, for a lot of the areas. Well, at least snow lovers hope so. Southwest Washington foothills, yes, it is. You can get, yeah, the mountainous areas, man, they can get snow all the way into May and sometimes into June. Yeah, the reasoning, Adam Jones asked that question about Southwest. The Pierce County there. So right here, you can see it on the Canadian model, for example. I'll update this, see how much more data we have in here. You can see that kind of snow, the lack of snow here. So if we look at the upper level winds, you go to 900 millibars, for example, and as the storm rolls in, you see what happens here. You're getting the southerly flow off of the Cascades kind of here. The the terrain is a little bit higher right there, and it comes off that terrain a bit, especially about 925 millibars right at the surface. I think if we go, you can kind of see that southeasterly component there. That's going to be coming off the higher terrain. So you get downsloping, you get compression there, and you warm up a little bit there. And you actually dry out the air a bit more too, so it doesn't even allow the precipitation to get down to the surface as much. Yeah, most of the areas have winter weather advisory right now. You can see that winter weather advisory does include the Portland metro, but I think it's not going to be a high impact snowfall. I mean, not for the most part. You're not going to have compact snow and ice on the roadways. It could be slick for a while, so just have a heads up for that, but it's not like it's going to be a high impact snowfall. A little bit better chance for that Monday and Tuesday. How many likes are we almost up to now? Did we get, are we going for 500? 620 are watching. I'll try to update that and see what it says. 587. Nice. Big Lou, thank you very much for the generosity. Eastern Washington, yeah. I mean, there may be some winter weather advisories brought out for them as well. Let's do this. Spokane is a really nice weather office over there too. But I know there is some snowfall potential coming up out there. Let's look at that. So it looks like it's with this system that comes in here during the day, Sunday, the same one we're dealing with here. You can see a little bit out towards, maybe mainly north of Moses Lake and Ritzville here, maybe across Highway 2 out towards Spokane there. Enough just to coat things out there. Tomorrow afternoon, I-5 conditions, Bellingham to Seattle. I would imagine I-5 would be fine by that. The sun's going to warm things up pretty well, or at least the solar radiation will warm things up enough where I don't think there'll be any kind of ice or compact snow on the roads at all tomorrow. On the main highways anyway. You might still have some on the back streets, like some in the neighborhoods or something like that, but I think that I-5 will be just fine tomorrow. It should be above freezing. Yeah, Whidbey Island might get a bit of a snow shadow here coming up. How did I know that weather was your bug growing up? I just remember being like 4 or 5 years old and just writing down every single day weather, what it was doing on the calendar. And then I grew up watching Steve Poole and Jeff Renner and Harry Wappler and all those guys. And I would literally, I would almost never miss a news weather report. And yeah, it's just always kind of been a thing. And I'm not sure what really put me that way. It just always seems like it was that way. I was just always into it. East of Cedro Woolley, 40 degrees, 50% humidity. Yeah. Brian Hicks, airport delays between Monday and Wednesday. there is that potential. And I'll show you why here. I'm going to do a 24-hour snow total here on the most recent European. And this is what the European says is going to fall at Seattle. And then it goes away here a bit. But you see Monday morning, it starts snowing again a little bit. By Monday night, look at that. It starts to show some accumulating snowfall across the central Puget Sound. So you got to watch that through Tuesday morning. I would watch Monday night, Tuesday morning especially. And even when it's not sticking on the roads or it's not sticking anywhere else, but it's still snowing, that means it's probably sticking on plane wings. And then you got to de-ice those planes. And significant delays can happen when not much is happening around the rest of the area because, you know, the airplane wings are cold. You just came out of, you know, sub-freezing temperatures and your wings are cold and the snow's falling and you're worried about it being on your plane wings and you have to get de-iced and it can cause considerable delays. So I would definitely watch that system Monday into Monday night and Tuesday morning here for if you're flying out of SeaTac for sure. Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned that, Patrick Nelson, because I was probably about 20 years old, maybe my late teens, and I wasn't actually going for weather. I was doing other things, but I was always talking about it and stuff. And one day, one of my girlfriend's friends said, did you just miss out on your passion? And from that moment on, I kind of just went, I was like, yeah, what am I doing? Why am I not pursuing this as a career? And so then after that moment, I might have been between 19 and 22 or something at that point. But yeah, she just kind of said that and it was like, yeah, what am I doing here? Yeah, it's tough. There's all kinds of logistical problems at SeaTac, as Brad knows. We deal with it all the time. It's rare that it's not a complete nightmare when you have to deal with de-icing. And it's really tough at a lot of airports too. But Seattle doesn't get snow a lot. Sometimes we can go an entire year or even more without getting snowfall at SeaTac. And then when it does snow, you know, is it really worth the time to arm the airport with de-icing trucks and make it this huge operation where you can remove icing? You know, it doesn't happen. It happens just enough to where when it does happen, it's a pain, is what I'm trying to say. D.D. Herbert, thank you very much for the generosity. Plane crash last evening out of Reno. Is that true? 5 perished? That was not good. We're going to have to rely on evaporative cooling for this upcoming system here. That is the case. And I don't know what the temperature is outside right now. Let me look at this. Yeah, we're still at 41 right now. My dew point is a little bit artificially high. I've got kind of a spring out there that runs near my yard and through the neighbor's yard. It's a little bit of groundwater that keeps it artificially high. A medical PC-12 crash. That is not good. Ouch. Summer 2023 BC Doppler radar. Very nice. Hoquiam reporting light snow, but still 3 Celsius. Yes, thank you guys for your generosity. You guys make this channel possible. Single engine bound for Salt Lake. Probably somebody, yeah, that is not good. Dew point is related to humidity. Humidity is a percentage. It's basically the difference between dew point and outside temperature there. Do I have humidity on here? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, you can see the humidity here. It's basically just a percentage of the water in the atmosphere. Yeah, the logistics of de-icing a plane can be very crazy. So we hit 500 likes. Cool. Yeah, I mean, you could see a little snow on the Oregon coast down there. I wouldn't think big amounts are incoming, but I wouldn't put it past a little bit more. Talk more about PSW. What is PSW? Is that something with solar weather? Okay, let's look at this again here. We were watching this. So last run we were at through 4 a.m. Let's update this. Now we're at the 7 a.m. here. So yeah, it is showing some around the Seattle Metro here, but you can see it's not, the amounts are not very good once you get south of SeaTac and really north of Everett there. Along the Puget Sound, not good until you get closer to Skagit and Whatcom County there, and you can see the bigger amounts across some of the area just off the Puget Sound and just off the coastline there through southwest BC, Vancouver. Pretty good amounts though, as you get a little bit of terrain there up through Vancouver, BC. Pacific Southwest. Okay. Pacific Southwest. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I've been doing those California videos each day. I'd like to spread out towards Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. I lived in Nevada for a while as well. I lived in California for a little bit also, so I know a little bit about that. I specialize in Pacific Northwest weather. I'll be right back. Let me grab some water here. Okay, did I miss anything here? Let's see. California updates rock. Good to hear. Yeah, I can't wait till this evening's UW model comes out. I want to see what it shows for that next system. You can see it shows a pretty good snowfall. Again, this is this morning's run, but look at this across the Central Sound going on through Tuesday morning. A pretty impressive snowfall across Southwest Washington, some of the Seattle area here as well. Might even include Pierce County a bit there also. Has Washington, yeah, the Cascades have had blizzard warnings. I don't remember the last time that the Puget Sound or Willamette Valley had a blizzard warning, though. It's probably happened at some point here. The UW is running right now. So the 4 kilometer is, as you can see, the 12Z up here in the corner. If I back up, you'll see it switch to 0Z. And that means that's how far we've got so far. So it's only out to like 7 a.m. Sunday morning right now. So I just updated it again. Yeah, so we're stuck there. It's still updating. We can bounce out to like the 36 kilometer right now. It's like a wider view of things here. We could go to but it shows a much wider view. But we can actually look at that low. You can see the low pressure system getting off the coast of Astoria there. It's going to cool things down as we go through Monday night into Tuesday. You can see things cool down as you go on through Tuesday morning there. And this low kind of just off the coast of Oregon there. So we have potential for snowfall here as we go on in through Monday night, Tuesday. Stay a bit chilly there. Now the frontal system arrives as we go on in through, oh, what is that? Wednesday night there. Stay active. You can see another storm arriving there. Kind of chilly systems here. Yes, we are unboxing the 4Z. Let's see. Let's do the The 12Z is running now too. You can see this is 00Z, 26th of February. So that means that is the current update here. Let's see what this low pressure system looks like on here. It is off the coastline there. We're off into Monday morning here. Notice we get a bit of a warm up there. And then things cool down as we get towards Monday night here again. That could open up some snow for us here across Southwest Washington, Seattle Metro. We'll see how that one goes, though. I'm not trying to get too much into the details there yet. And then you see, so if we stop, let's see, keep backing up here. Right there, that's where the model stops. So we're out to about 7 p.m. on Monday there on this tonight's run. Yeah, it's just a lot of information those models are trying to process. That's why it takes so long. I mean, the European model, it runs at 4 p.m. For an example, the 0Z starts at 4 p.m., but it takes 5 hours and 47 minutes before we even get the first amount of data from it. It's just really slow to load. And it's the GFS and the NAM load much quicker. Like right now we can look and you can see the NAM, the 0Z run is loaded. The European won't even start giving us any data for another hour and 13 minutes. Is the NASCAR race going to Fontana? Where's Fontana, California? I'm not sure where that is. Let's do this. Yeah, those lows that show up on the models are so fickle, and just the smallest deviation in that low track will mean difference in precipitation type. So you guys are looking at tomorrow. I mean, I think you'd probably be okay on Monday afternoon. Monday night into Tuesday, I'd be watching out, though. Ontario. So it looks like there's some light rain going on out there still. I mean, you're still going to be dealing with some light rain. It's not a lot of rainfall, though. I don't know what it takes to wash out a NASCAR event, but there's still a little bit of light rain around. Patrick Nelson asking about which models tend to be more accurate. Well, the European is really the king. I mean, it is better than the GFS. It's not like it's worlds better. It's not like it's a huge amount better, but it's generally a better model. And so the European is kind of what I go off of. And you can see the European really cut back that precipitation by the time you get in tomorrow afternoon. But it pops back up again a little bit. But there could be a little bit of light rain around. It's hard to say. It's kind of right. It's very light, though. Just checking out. Pivotal Weather has some pretty good model stuff on here too. It's a pretty good website. I prefer the map views of Weather Bell better because, as you can see, it kind of cuts it off really close to the Washington coastline here. And when you want to see low pressure centers out here, it makes it difficult. You're kind of right up against the coastline here, and you can see that you really can't get away from that. You can go to national, and you get a little bit more off the coastline there, but you're really not seeing over the Gulf of Alaska still. And if you want to get out that far, you've got to go to, let's back up to something else here really quick. Let's go to European high resolution. But you can see you can't see that far out of the coastline, but then if you want to go to wider, and by that time you're really far out, so then you're not seeing some of the finer details here. So I tend to prefer Weather Bell because it's a little bit more, as I mentioned, the maps are just a little bit better. Another good model here that you guys might want to check out also is this isn't bad also. Tropical Tidbits has some cool stuff on here. Some of the wave stuff and some of the hurricane models and some of the displays are pretty nice. It can be kind of confusing here looking at like the time slider over here is a little bit confusing, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. .32 in Bonnie Lake right now. Snowing in Bellingham and Linden, Washington. So yeah, sublimation is when we go from a gas to, well, sublimation. I'm drawing a blank here. Evaporation, you go from water to gas. Sublimation, you go from water immediately to gas. Yeah, okay, so deposition is when you go from gas straight to a solid. So you'd go from a gas straight to like a frost formation or ice. Condensation is when you go from gas to water. So you're going from water to gas for evaporation. And you go water straight to ice. Yeah, sublimation is when you're taking the ice straight from ice to gas. Deposition would be straight from gas to ice. And you also have evaporation and condensation as well. Snowing in Astoria, nice. Yeah, there's a pretty good example of deposition the other day. Somebody in Wyoming on Twitter showed there had been some melting from the sun and the gas or what water vapor was in the atmosphere then, and then the sun went away and it went straight from the vapor to the ice there. And the deposition there kind of formed these really crazy big frost flakes. Yeah, Tropical Tidbits it's a nice website there. You know, like significant wave heights and whatnot on here as well. I'm always looking for good waves. I like to try to get out there to Cape Disappointment a lot of times. There's some really nice breaking waves there. And sometimes when the waves get kind of crazy at Westport, if you guys probably saw that video I did the other day, sometimes the waves like to break over the breakwater there, and you can observe from the tower there. Sometimes those waves come up to the height of the tower and they're crashing over and coming out in the parking lot, and pretty entertaining time. Well, that 10 inches of snow is going to be off in the foothills more. That you shouldn't be getting 10 inches there in Bellingham. That's kind of the resolution issue they have with the National Weather Service. So if we zoom in a little bit here, like this graphic they put out right now, this is much better. This is nice. The stuff they put out this morning was just unacceptably I don't know if you guys saw that, but they put out some kind of raw model data stuff that was just, I couldn't even comprehend what it was trying to say. It was just ridiculous. It didn't help anybody. It just created a bunch of confusion. But so if you click on any one of these, sometimes there's a resolution issue. Now that's better. Okay, the total snow accumulation up to 4 inches there, as you can see for Bellingham, Blaine, Point Roberts, Ferndale, Linden, Sumas. Did I say that wrong? Is it I forget again. Is it Sumas or Sumas? Somebody in here knows. Burlington, Mount Vernon. Yeah, but you can see up to 4 inches of total snow there. Now you can see down here, local accumulations up to 8 inches near the Canadian border and over the higher terrain near the Cascades. So that makes sense. That's possible there. Far East Vancouver. Well, the further away you get from the water, you're going to be getting better amounts in the higher terrain. So that's going to be, you're probably going to be doing pretty good up there, East Vancouver. Sumas. Not Moss. So Mass, right? Sumas. I think that's what I said. I don't know. There's so many little towns around here that I don't know how to pronounce properly still, even though I've lived here my entire life. Sometimes, you know, you don't say it that often, and there's so many of them that it can kind of catch you off guard sometimes. The Devil's Churn is a great place to watch waves explode. Yeah, I got a lot of tabs open up here. Let's shut some of this down actually a little bit here. So if we click down here, I wonder what they have. If I click on that, they still call for that. I mean, yeah, you can see some of the issues this has because I clicked down there well off into, I mean, what did I just click here? I clicked on, you know, you were out here in Graham and whatnot down here. So if I click on that and you click on that, then you see, well, I guess that's better, up to 2 inches down there for Puyallup Spanaway. But I don't know if a lot of areas down there are going to get 2 inches. Cliff Mass from Sumas. That's right. That's a good way to do it. Good evening. Charles Utley is here. Yeah, I've heard people call it Sumas. Sumas. I'm just going to call it Sumas from now on. Hope I can remember. Yeah, let's back up here. The Fraser Valley, I mean, once you get back up away from the water up there, you're going to be doing pretty good. You could be getting 4+ inches of the snowfall up there. But this is a pretty good graphic they put out here. I like this one. This is not bad. So let's see how far we are on the UW model here. Let's back up to the 4 kilometer. See if we got any new data here. Let's actually zoom way in a little bit more here. So now we're out to about 10, 11. We're out to Sunday afternoon now here. We updated pretty well. How far out can we go? Looks like we got a lot of data loaded up here. Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's starting to show this again though in this run. You can see we're on into Monday evening there. And you can see some more snow starting to creep in across Southwest Washington here. Any of my viewers down here, Olympia South, I-5, Centralia down here. Look at this. Look at Centralia. Look at Olympia getting up over 6 inches here. And Tacoma's getting on the action on this round too. You can see you're getting up towards 4 inches there. Some of the Seattle Metro is getting up towards 5, according to this one here. And this is showing accumulated snowfall here. So this is going to be kind of interesting. That system coming in Monday has some potential if that low pressure is there. But the problem is that low pressure changes in the models. You know, it's just going to take everything away. So it's just, It's a cat and mouse game until we get closer. If we get 2 inches in Graham, I'll go buy a lottery ticket. Sounds good. Yeah, it's kind of nuts too. That Vancouver down towards Portland and Vancouver, BC. Got to be careful with that one. Yeah, the southerly winds are probably, I mean, they're probably going to be coming here. The hope there is that the precipitation does come in. Yeah, and the southerly winds are a bit lighter. A live stream from the Stampede Pass ASOS. Can we get that data? That's a Everett Rail fan there. Noticeable lake effect snow. Is that with only large scale lakes? It's mostly with large scale, but it probably makes a tiny bit of difference, but it's not going to be a big difference. If it's a small lake, especially if it's only quarter mile or something like that, or half mile, it's probably not going to make much of a difference. There's a conversion zone coming in tomorrow afternoon a bit here as well. Here, let me back up a little bit here. Let's go to, let's see what it shows. So here goes the frontal system tonight. Simulated Doppler radar here. Later morning, there we go. You see as we go into about the noon hour, you see the convergence zone set up a little bit here. We're going to have warmed up around here, and our low-level air mass is going to be eroded. This nice Arctic air that we had for the last couple of days is going to be gone. But then you're going to be tapping some cooler air aloft, so you can still get some snow pellets, some ice pellets in here. If you're really lucky, maybe you get a lightning strike with that convergence zone, but it's probably a big long shot. The better chance for a thunderstorm here is with this shower activity here as we go on in through Sunday afternoon. You could get a couple lightning strikes here down the Oregon coast, Washington coast, Vancouver Island up here. And then this is the next weather maker out here. You can see this little bad boy out here, the slow pressure spinning out here as we go through the day Monday, and then it's going to move in here and potentially bring a little bit colder air down to the region here and maybe bring some additional snowfall. But again, like every single weather event here in the Pacific Northwest, is going to be extremely marginal here. Eric Hotel, thank you very much. Prediction for snow on Wednesday was spot on. Yeah, that was a tough forecast down there. I was surprised, honestly. We woke up in the morning and I was just like, okay, they're going to have a snow advisory out down there and that'll do for now. And I'll be okay with that. And Portland didn't even have the snow advisory. And I was like, what? Am I missing something here? And there was like nothing. They had the winter weather advisory was for the further south for Portland there. And it ended up getting over 10 inches of snow at the airport. And, you know, the European was showing that system. It was showing the low pressure there. Some other models had hinted at it as well. So I had a feeling there was going to be some decent snowfall around there. And it happened. I mean, yeah, that one of those things. Yeah, we can look at up into BC a bit more here as well. Let's do that. Let's go to... Actually, let's take a look at that. Let's go to... Actually, there's actually... You know, this is what baffles me about Weather Bell. Watch what happens when I do this. If we go to British Columbia, it just shows like a portion of southeast British Columbia here. You'd think that it would show the whole of British Columbia. It's kind of baffling there. Alberta and British Columbia is a better map there. And also if you go to Western Canada, it's pretty similar there. But really the best for viewing British Columbia is probably the Alberta, British Columbia one there. I do not understand why that British Columbia one just kind of shows you like this little piece right here. It's kind of funny because this is all British Columbia. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at winter total snow Kuchera ratio. Let's do 24-hour running total because some areas are going to get some pretty good amounts. So this is the snow totals ending tomorrow about 10 a.m. And you can see you get off in some terrain here and you're going to get some big amounts. You're talking 15 plus centimeters there. And every 2.5 centimeters is an inch. There's 2 inches, there's 4, there's 6 inches right there. So there's going to be some 6-inch plus totals off the water there into southwest BC. And you can see there's going to be some snow shadowing going on in the eastern portions of the higher terrain there as well, but more as you pick up across some of the higher terrain, the Rocky Mountains there. My wife is commuting from Elma to Sequim via 101 up the Hood Canal. How much snow would you guess? She's leaving at 5 a.m. That is an interesting one there, because watch what's happening here. If we look at, we're going to go all the way back to this morning's very high resolution model here, and we will go to Puget Sound snowfall. And so I'm assuming you're going from Elma to Sequim up here. So Elma is back here. You're going to be just to Sequim here. Okay, so let's see. By the time you get to what are we looking at here? Oh, we're looking at 1 hour snowfall. Let me back up here. So accumulated Puget Sound, accumulated snowfall. Did I not hit that? I guess I didn't. So here we are about, this was this morning's run. So here we are going on into tonight. But you can see there's going to be some issues there. At what time is she leaving at 5 a.m.? You're probably going to run into some snow out and about here. As you can see, Highway 12 is here. There's 101. Sequim is out here. You're going to be dealing with some snow at that time. So it looks like it's going to be ending by then. And again, the temperature should be kind of marginal, but I wouldn't put it out. A little bit colder air gets trapped out here, and you could be around freezing. It might make it a little treacherous. So I would have that in the back of your mind out there. You could see, 2, 3, 4 inches out there. Black Diamond Maple Valley. I mean, you can see some snowfall coming out here as we go on in through tomorrow morning. Kent, East Hill, out towards Issaquah, North Bend out here could get some snowfall as well. But you see, as you go further south towards the Pierce King County line out here, a little bit less. Maybe a little skiff as you go southeast of Tacoma there. I'm going a little bit out in the future here now. How far does this go out? So this goes out to about 4 a.m. Tuesday, but you can see this morning's high resolution model painting a pretty snowy picture here coming up as we go through Tuesday morning. It looks like that trend on the last model run is hinting towards the same way. Well, Sequim's right around in here, right? That's kind of where I was pointing. Sequim. Oh, Sequim. I'm thinking you said Shelton. Oh, Sequim. Okay, no, yeah. You've got a long drive then. Did she say Sequim? I thought she said Shelton. Let me make sure here. Yeah, it is Sequim. Okay, yeah, that's a long drive. Yeah, you're going to be dealing with some snowfall. You got 101 way up here then. Yeah, there's going to be some pretty good amounts. Let's back this all the way up to 5 a.m. though on Sunday morning. Yeah, sorry, but I was thinking Shelton for some reason. But yeah, you can see some pretty good amounts. 4 plus 6 inches out there. So might want to bring a snowplow with you there. But if you have a nice vehicle, you take it slow and you might be all right. Yes, Sequim. Okay. For some reason, I thought you said Shelton, even though I might have said Sequim too. What is a good weather station for my house? I'm actually going to do a video on a weather station that was shown to me, and it's got an ultrasonic anemometer on it, and it's a reasonably priced station, does temperature pretty well. It's got a little shelter on it, and you can kind of see it on your phone app wherever you go. So I'm going to do a video on that here in the next couple of days. Yeah, you have to have a good vehicle if you're going to be out driving around on this road. If you do not have like a newer vehicle with all-wheel drive and nice tires on it, I would not be out driving tomorrow morning. That's going to be tough. If you have all-wheel drive, nice tires, and you're experienced with the snow, then you might try it. But yeah. I wish that this model ran a little bit sooner. As you can see, there's like no data in here yet on the 1.33 kilometer run. I don't know how much the Hunga Tonga blast has an effect on things right now. We will learn more in the next couple of years. It kind of sucks that we don't know right now, but it did add a lot of water vapor to the atmosphere. It'll take a while probably to circulate out. Coke. Going from Burien to Mount Baker at 5 a.m. Chasing powder. Very nice. Yeah, you're going to turn to rain by Sunday across much of the region here. We're going to warm up. So as we go on in through Sunday, you can kind of see that rain mixing in there. Convergence zone activity might keep the lower snow level going on into the higher terrain, the foothills there. You get a little bit of a thunderstorm chance Sunday afternoon along the coastline there as well. And then this one is the next weather system we are watching here, folks. This one right off the coastline might bring some snow across the Puget Sound, some of Portland, Southwest Washington also. So let's look at the GFS here really quick. You can see pretty similar low location versus the European model there. So yeah, if that low comes in right over Oregon there again, this could spread snow up towards the Puget Sound as well. That's going to be an interesting system. That's going to be fun to watch this thing come in, because there's definite snow potential with that storm there. We're not going to warm up that much, even really on through March 10th or so. We're probably going to stay pretty chilly. A couple more little rounds of snowfall. Trying to catch up on some of these chats here. Let's see. The weather station I'm going to put in my video costs about $289. So it's not bad, but for $200 you could get like a cheaper AccuWeather or something, but it's better to spend a little bit more and get something a little more accurate if you can afford it. It does make a difference. There should be no freezing rain coming up here across Pacific Northwest. No, we shouldn't have any freezing rain coming. Not yet anyway. We'll watch this as we go, but it's not showing anything here on the GFS or the European as of yet. But anyway, I'm going to have to wrap this up. I got to get back upstairs and check on the kids, and got a few more things I got to do before I go to bed tonight. I might actually go out and chase this if there's some snow coming in tonight. I might try to get some wintry scenes. So maybe I'll live stream again briefly if I go out tonight. But I may need to take a nap or something. But anyway, we are going to go and do our briefing again tomorrow after I wake up. We'll take a look at what's coming up with that next storm system. We'll watch the California storms rolling in here. We'll see how long it is before we get some spring weather around here. So yeah, thanks you guys for stopping by. What else? There's a slight chance I might live stream again tonight if I see some cool snowy scenes out there. But anyway. Yeah, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Thanks for the generosity. You guys make this channel possible. Thank you.